Hi, today I'm doing a review on the Harper Connelly Series by Charlaine Harris. And Charlaine Harris also writes the Sophie Stackhouse books, but this series is a lot different to that one. So there are 4 books in the series, and that's that. She's not doing any more. So the Harper Connelly series is about a girl who got struck by lightning when she was about 16, and she's 24 now in these books. And she can, due to getting struck by lightning, she has the ability to find dead bodies. So they kind of like speak to her. So if she goes to a grave site, she can kind of relive the dead person's final moments and kind of find out how they died, and if they've seen someone, let's say they're murdered, she might be able to recognize who murdered them. And let's say she's trying to find a missing body, people bring her in to try and search an area and search it for a missing person. And so that's what she kind of does really. Her and her stepbrother Tolliver, they travel around and people kind of hire them to find missing bodies really, or find missing loved ones. And it's a tough job because not a lot of people accept her ability and think she's faking. And then when she actually does find the body, they kind of resent her for it, and so she gets a lot of grief for it. What do I think of this series? I really liked this series, to be honest. It's kind of dark, and it's a very natural, easy writing style. Like, the author doesn't try too hard, and I kind of liked that. It was just nice and easy to read, and the pace wasn't too fast, and there was a lot of emotional drama. And usually I'm kind of into the action and the kind of life and death situations and all that. But I really liked these books. I really liked it. And I think Harper, she's kind of an endearing character, because your usual kind of heroine or protagonist in a series, you know, that's super strong, brave. But she's so different. She's really emotionally fragile, and she has this kind of tragic background, and she's just 100% dependent on her stepbrother, and she's just so vulnerable, and it's kind of different. Like, she's able to continue on doing this career and getting this grief for it, which you know, makes her strong. But in other ways, she's just so weak and damaged. So she's kind of an interesting character, and she is a good kind of narrator too. Her stepbrother Tolliver, they're kind of like just the main characters for most of the books, just the 2 of them, and you really get to know them and understand them, and it's really nice. I liked their brother-sister relationship. On Tolliver, sometimes I felt he was written a bit too calm and quiet, but overall he's kind of a sweet character, and he's always there for Harper. When I started reading it, I loved book 1. I don't know, there was just something about it that made me really captivated in the story and in the characters. Book 2 had a little less kind of, I suppose action would be the word in it. But it was still good, and I loved book 3 as well. So book 1 and 3 would be my favourites. And they were just really exciting, and you just follow Tolliver and Harper as they travel around. You get into these different kind of situations, like when they're hired for a certain job, there's always going to be mystery and intrigue and something bad going on at the same time. So, and Harper and Tolliver kind of get pulled into this kind of troublesome situation. But I have to say, like, this series, it is kind of dark in a way, and kind of, there's always like a down feeling. But I suppose because it deals with death and a very emotionally damaged girl. But book 4 was just especially depressing. I felt it just had this extra down feeling to it, and felt very final, and I didn't like it too much, and I don't know, I just kind of warped my overall opinion of the series. Like, if this series was just books 1 to 3, it would be like really good in my eyes, but book 4 just brought it down a little bit, so I was disappointed with book 4, just for that reason really. So I just want you to be aware of that when you read the series, that books 1 to 3 are great, but book 4 was a little bit just depressing for me and felt so final. So I mean, I do recommend this series, definitely. It's a lot different to other books out there, I mean, it doesn't try too hard, and it's quite simple. And I really liked as well the author's way in dealing with the after effects of being struck by lightning. I never really read about that before. Like, you know, there's headaches and there's problems with movement, and she gets problems with like one side of her body, and she has like a scar. So yeah, the author, you know, she doesn't really make it out to be too supernaturally. It's like kind of like a medical condition almost, and she just happens to be able to not communicate, but kind of discover bodies and relive their final moments. So I enjoyed this series. It deals with a dark subject matter, but it's really interesting and captivating and enjoyable. And so that's basically my review. And I'm going to move on to more spoiler-filled review now. So if you don't want to know any spoilers, please switch off now. Okay, so as I said, I really liked Tolliver and Harper's brother-sister relationship. So if you've read the series before, you'll know that I wasn't 100% happy when their relationship turned romantic. So I don't know why the author did this. I know they're stepbrother and sister, but they've grown up for a long time now as siblings, and then all of a sudden they turn into kind of something more. They turn into lovers, and even though they are kind of cute together, I just prefer them as a brother-sister kind of main characters, because I don't read that a lot. You always read about, you know, romances and a couple, but you rarely read about a brother-sister relationship, and especially that being the main one. And I really liked that in this series, and that kind of ruined it then, that the author decided to turn them romantic. And I suppose it did add to the kind of like the unusual lives they lead, and they were getting grief from people because of Harper's job, and then they were getting grief from their other relatives because they found this really weird. So yeah, it just gave them more obstacles really, and made it a bit more darker, especially like more depressing, especially in the fourth book. But they kind of just did what they wanted, and they wanted to be together, so you can kind of commend them for that. But yeah, I would have much preferred if they just stayed the kind of close brother and sister. Yeah, I was really pleased with them. They have this kind of old feel to them, kind of old mysteries really, mystery books, and you don't really like, they don't even feel much like a supernaturally paranormal book either, which is kind of a nice change. They're just really kind of natural, and yeah, so I enjoyed reading them, and I hope you check them out, and let me know what you think about them. And if you have any other recommendations, please let me know. And thanks very much for watching.